What is up, Prop Shop listeners? Austin Trades NQ, founder and owner of the Prop Shop, coming at you with a brand new video today. Video number 2 in our trading psychology playlist, trading performance goals. Other than the risk management masterclass and the trading zones masterclass, which are two fundamental pillars of my trading process, I would argue this is the third most important video on this channel to date, breaking down for me some simple skills I learned in my time playing college basketball that really shifted my focus from a performance and results-based focus to enjoying the process of improving and how to do that on a week in and week out basis successfully. So today, without any further ado, trading performance goals. We're going to talk about how we can prioritize improvement, identify the trading skills necessary for consistent success, and then just give some examples of weekly performance goals and ultimately aiming to control the controllable as always in this trading arena. So trading performance goals, prioritizing improvement first and foremost. We need to understand, hey, what are we trying to improve exactly? Because I think a lot of traders spend a lot of time consuming an endless cycle of content, educational content, trade reviews, different systems, different styles. But if we can, like in any high performance field, identify the specific skills required to improve, required to produce consistent results, then we can begin to create best daily practices and develop clarity for becoming better at our job. And for me, it's pretty simple, honestly. Depending on your trading systems, trading is distilled down to some measurable and malleable skills. I believe at the top of that list is idea generation. So if you're looking at my screen right now, this is going to be kind of the bread and butter of my system. We're not going to overcomplicate it. I could break my technical system down to what you see on your screens, which is going to be the levels and zones from higher time frames, the 5-minute chart with a slight technical indicator for range, momentum, and directional bias, and then the more granular look at price action that I have explained so many times on this channel, where I've developed edge for continuation trades, reversal trades, and in different market cycles and in different market contexts. However, idea generation itself has a lot of different genres under it, right? Whether it's ICT or EMAs or fundamental analysis or selling options, these are all ideas to produce edge. And that's fundamentally what we're attempting to do. We're attempting to produce edge. This video is not designed to explain my edge, but we need to understand what that skill looks like. And so many traders are spending all day, all night, all week, all subconscious time on idea generation. And that's really skill number 1. We can teach edge development to high schoolers, right? It's not something that's necessarily extremely intellectually challenging. Pattern recognition being at the fundamental base of having edge, but the things that are really challenging, the skills that trip up most traders being, other than idea generation, risk management, and then profit management. These are two separate skills. And if I were to be taking notes on this video specifically, or just taking the core concepts of how can I identify the skills necessary to prioritize improvement? Skill number 1, idea generation. Skill number 2, risk management. Skill number 3, profit management. So within the context of idea generation, we've already covered that is your edge. And I'm not here to tell you how to find edge in the markets, at least in this video. I explain my process for edge, and we've covered risk management. Profit management is going to be where you go from a break-even trader, maybe you have moments of success here and there, but to really be consistent week in, month in, and year out, profit management is going to eventually need to become a focus. Because if you have good trade ideas, you have real edge, you're managing your risk, you're trading with appropriate leverage and placing stops in the market and consistently on the winning side of trades, 50, 60, 70+% of the time, then if you're not making consistent money, it is most likely your profit management. And now we've identified the 3 skills, and what we really want to do week in and week out, and what I'm focused on more than anything, is creating weekly performance goals relative to those 3 skills, including some mental skills that we're going to cover in this video as well. So many people spend so much time, whether it's on prop firms or a personal account, kind of calculating right in their heads or writing down and planning out, hey, how much money do I need to make every week or every month to be a full-time trader? How much do I need to risk? How many contracts do I need to take, right? How many points do I need to risk on NQ? to be a full-time trader. And they're very arbitrary, unfortunately pretty amateur questions, because I humbly believe that the priority should be improving skills. And if we can develop systems for risk, and we've talked about this in prior videos, right? Daily loss limits, sizing limits, where we don't act like a trading child and we're an adult and we actually commit to our rules like adults do, and we hold ourselves accountable to be consistent in that approach, then we can now recognize, hey, again, if I'm not making consistent money, is it because my ideas/edge aren't quality enough? And if that's not true, then we need to simply stop watching so many videos on edge development and technical analysis, because if you believe you have the technical skills to make money, then the next question becomes, is our risk management, i.e. where we take entries, where we place our stops, and how we manage those, in alignment with kind of a break-even trader or just not blowing up accounts? And if those two things are true, then like we've already referenced, profit management, is going to be the third thing on the list that we need to adjust. And this is not a profit management video. However, recognizing that instead of creating these performance goals that are based on money and outcomes, which again are not things we can fully control, we can shift our focus like we do in the sports world when we're coaching and teaching, which is something that I do as a passion, part-time, because after playing college basketball, we've had the pleasure, both my significant other and myself, who also played college sports, to coach AAU and train and be involved in athletes' life at a high level through the Division I, II, high school, middle school ranks. And there's a commonality between athletes and traders, and that is that when I coach athletes and get them to focus on the things they can control, are you going to take the best shots you can every single game and set a standard for yourself that if you don't take enough of the best shots, that's a failed game from a performance standpoint? It has nothing to do with how many points you score. And I hear parents a lot of the time as I coach and go to games yell amorphous things like, be aggressive. But if we don't understand the skills, right, even at a young age, and after coaching for 10 plus years now, I recognize that children much younger than we want to recognize even at times are capable of understanding basic fundamental skills and improving them. And the process of improving them universally is very fun. It's an infinite game that we can win. So instead of, again, creating a goal where I want to score 30 points a game and yell at my kid to be more aggressive, I need you to be a little bit more graceful with yourself as a trader. Be kind to yourself and recognize that sometimes making $10,000 a week/month, these very arbitrary goals that people tend to set for themselves as a baseline, aren't necessarily going to get us where we want to go. That's pushing towards an outcome, as opposed to recognizing that my ideas are high quality, my risk management is also high quality and consistent, so I want to get better at profit management. And the reason I'm not good at it is most likely because of the fear I feel while in a winning trade. And now I can make a specific goal to improve that thing when it shows up in my trading process for an entire week and focus solely on that one very narrow and deep skill. Because that's going to be the lever/skill that is going to improve your trading bottom line more than focusing on performance outcomes, more so than focusing on making $10,000 a day, week, or month. You can improve your ability to manage profit. You can improve your mindset, your emotions, your reactions to how you trade the market as it moves higher and lower, right? You can improve your breathing, your posture, your performance prior to taking a trade in the way that you prepare. It should be frictionless and relatively confident and carefree. It doesn't mean we're doing whatever we want. It means we have the ultimate trust in ourselves because we're not pushing to get monetary outcomes or pulling high performance into reality by literally designing a weekly workflow where you pick the individual skill you believe that only you can know you need to work on, and we improve at that skill diligently. Your bottom line trading results will improve as a byproduct. And so as a kind of summary of what we've covered so far from a psychological perspective, when the market has really nice trend days or it has really nice range days, and in any and every scenario where your edge, again, skill number one, idea generation, is providing maximal opportunity, then by prioritizing, as we talked about early, performance and improvement, not performance from a monetary results perspective, but from a skill development perspective. Then before the week even starts, we are now creating a positive feedback loop. And when we begin to understand the brain and how it experiences stress and how it experiences joy and how so many winning teams, as I say to all my basketball teams, tend to be joyful. Winning teams tend to be joyful. And if you're the best player on a winning team, you tend to be pretty happy. And those people, ironically, tend not to complain a lot. And so we want to put ourselves in an environment that's joyful while being a high quality player. And in this arena, it's not 5-on-5. It's barely really 1-on-1. It's you versus your own entropy, you versus your own decision making. Your ability to diligently, consistently improve and prioritize the skills that you can control. Again, idea generation, which is edge, and that's a myriad of different things that we're not going to get into in this video. I've explained mine on the channel. Risk management, which we have a long format video about on the channel as well, and profit management. And so now before the week even starts, as we've already articulated, pick an individual skill that you can improve, and the focus doesn't become whether this short side setup on the NASDAQ at 850 saw a massive move to the downside and you made a bunch of money, you held runners, or you didn't make money and now you have FOMO. It becomes my skill, my focus before the week was to make sure when my edge shows up, I execute diligently and consistently. I don't hesitate. So when your edge shows up and you don't hesitate, then we pause and we detach from everything other than that individual skill, because you're probably not going to manage your runners perfectly. Guess what? That's trading. But we can now, again, get back into the core concept here, frame our entire trading experience as a winning day. That doesn't mean you're going to make money every single day, but every day can be a winning day. When we frame our trading process as, I want to get better at blank skill this week because that will have the most levered improvement on my bottom line results. That will improve my C game. Then we shift our focus to, what am I really, really good at, and how can I focus on doing both of those things this week, right? I'm going to pick an individual skill to improve at, and when my best opportunities show up, we're going to do those confidently. We're going to trade those confidently. And so if you're a really high quality momentum scalper, then prioritize momentum scalping opportunities this upcoming week and pick an individual skill that would allow you to be the best momentum scalper you're capable of being. And I'm not telling you what that skill is, but within the context of risk management and profit management, how could you improve? And if it's neither of those things, if it's pre-trade, if it's managing your expectations, not trading the open, managing FOMO, then we can now begin again to build positive feedback loops. What does that look like? Your focus becomes on improvement before the week even starts. So as long as you can be an adult, as we love to say in the prop shop, and if the goal is not to trade the open on Monday, and you don't trade the open on Monday, you're already beginning a winning week. You're already controlling controllable variables. And that now allows you to take this trade metaphorically and hypothetically off of 850 and probably manage that trade a little bit better, because you're no longer in a state of fear, a state of anxiousness, a state of greed. We've now shifted our central nervous system and our executive function to, I want to improve this week. I want to improve today. I'm going to focus more on improving your specific skill, which, hey, whether it's idea generation, risk management, profit management, or a list of a couple mental skills, we still need to distill it down to something that's measurable and malleable. You can't just say, I want to be better at FOMO this week. What does that actually mean? I want to be patient in the first 15 to 30 minutes of market open as a conscious choice to develop more patience, and then be aware of my FOMO for the first 2 to 3 hours of market open. After that, I'm done trading every day. You can stay focused for 2.5 to 3 hours and combat FOMO and win. But you can't do that for 6 hours every single day by saying, I want to get better at FOMO. It's not realistic. That's not how a professional athlete would think. They would break it down to the measurable and malleable verticals within that idea or constraint and that skill, and they'd make a conscious and intentional choice to improve. So the performance goals become the focus for your week, they become the focus for your day, and then in real time, of course, we're trying to compete, we're trying to win, we're attempting to generate high quality ideas, let our edge come to us. But again, the focus on performance as a function of skills makes our bottom line improve naturally, and then our fear and anxiety, cortisol decreases naturally as well, because we consciously and subconsciously experience ourselves improving as a conscious choice. These are controllable things that we can put into action with decisions and behavior week in and week out. And as a callback to my original point, if you work with athletes, you've been an athlete in the past, it becomes less about a hole-in-one or shooting par or making this three-point shot or throwing this touchdown, and more about the best swing I can hit right now, the best shot I can possibly shoot right now, the best throw I can possibly make right now, or for this domain, the best possible trade and trade management I can do right now. Not how much money I can make, but a shift in focus will, I promise, will have a drastic result on your joy, your trading experience, and your bottom line results. This is controlling the controllable variables. This is a conscious choice to psychologically and even physiologically stand up, get involved, stretch, check your posture, drink water, and choose to improve your performance as opposed to staring at the screens, hunched over, gripping the mouse, staring so intently at every single candle. There is a difference in physiology, how we breathe, how we perform, when we're making conscious choices to be diligent and perceptive, be aware of our process. So from a psychological lens, I hope that in this video today, more than anything, this inspires you to prioritize improvement. This maybe gives you some clarity on the skills that I believe idea generation, risk management, and profit management really play just a maximal role in our trading endgame. But more than anything, creating weekly performance goals around those, right? I don't simply want to get better at managing risk. I have to pick something that is measurable and malleable that you know on a personal level you can, of course, measure and get better at, that will allow you to improve those bottom line results. These are things that we can control. This shifts the power back into your control as the trader, and this creates a positive feedback loop that we can commit to and follow through with before the trading week and before the trading day even starts. And as I said in the beginning, every single day can be a winning trading day. That doesn't mean we'll make money every day. We definitely won't. But it can be a winning trading day. Whether that's life, sports, or trading, there's some lessons in there that have played a massive role in my trading experience and my time now as a coach, which I find a ton of joy and I hopefully genuinely success in the past 5 to 10 years specifically. So I hope these videos are valuable for you. Thank you for tuning into the Prop Shop. As always, if you continue to find value in these videos, please leave a comment, like, subscribe below. We're going to continue to push high quality content in the coming weeks and days as we get into Q2 and the market breaks out of range and heats up into what should ultimately be a great year of trading. As always, trade safe, trade well, peace.